future generations by deriding not only the lady which has been brought in marriage to her son, but also the entire family. They go on censuring them, finding faults with them, taking pride that in our family we eat better. In your family, when we went there, this was the food. You eat such food, and so on and so forth. So these meannesses have caused enough havoc with the human society. And in such cases, hardly you will find that men are involved. In such petty cases of differences and family quarrels and so on, most often than not, it is the ladies who are involved. So the Holy Quran points out very correctly. The finger is pointing at where the ill lies. And these are the two reasons from which many suffering for human being has originated. So the Holy Quran very correctly points out to the evil where it belongs.
I have another question on similar topic, sir. Can I ask sometimes, please? Hazur, about this verse, I was thinking of joining another question, which if you allow me, I can.
I have already allowed you.
Sir, according to Islamic teaching, an Arab has no preference over non-Arab. But unfortunately, some nations prefer some people. Some nations have preference over other people. This is what
that I have already explained.
Yes, sir. Now, question is, as a Muslim, what one should do, and how one should preach the essential message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that these people can think that all people are at par.
I mean, this is no question at all. I don't find it a question. I mean, you know, you should propagate, you should take part in the systems, support those systems which propagate these things, and through persuasion, through admonition, through preaching, and so on and so forth. The Ahmadiyya community is involved in this, you know that, and we are already participating in it. And you can speak of this among your friends wherever you move. You can write essays and subject and even letters to the newspapers on these subjects. I mean, these such commonplace things that I'm very surprised why you turn it into a question.
You see, sir, I had argument with somebody, and he said, because you are black, you want a preference over us. That's why you are saying that they should be equal. Now, I could answer that sort of question.
All right. Thank you. Yes, please. When I'll have to attach someone constantly with you to answer your questions asked of you.
उर्दू में बोलेंगे, उर्दू में बात करूँगा। एक मेरे दोस्त हैं, उनको मैं तबलीग कर रहा हूँ, तो वो कहने लगे कि आप हमें क्यों तबलीग करते हो? आप हमें क्यों तबलीग करते हो? हमें पता है कि हमने बस सच्चाई करनी है, ये करना है, वो करना है, चंद एक चीज़ें हैं, तो आप वो क्यों करते हो? जैसे इन्होंने फरमाया कि वो ये कहते हैं कि मतलब हम पे बर्तरी हासिल करने के लिए आप तबलीग करते हो, या आप ऐसा कहते हो। तो मैंने उन्हें ये बताया कि मैं जब अहमदी हुआ और मैंने ये चीज़ें देखी और बड़ी सारी वहमों से या बड़े सारे मसाइल से मैंने छुटकारा हासिल किया, तो मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि आप लोग भी इन चीज़ों से बचो। मैं इसलिए आपको तबलीग करता हूँ, ना कि मैं किसी तसब्ब के तहत, ना कि मैं ये इसलिए कि मैं आपसे बड़ा हूँ या मैं आपसे अच्छा हूँ। मैं इन चीज़ों के लिए आपको तबलीग नहीं करता, सिर्फ इसलिए कि आप भी वो चीज़ें जो कि आपके लिए हार्मफुल हैं।
इस तरह इतने लंबी बहस की ज़रूरत नहीं होती। The question he has asked has a background. He says when he was preaching to one of his friends, he didn't like it. He took exception to this preaching and said, "Why do you preach to me? I know the basic principles laid down in Islam. I know the values of those principles, what I should do and what I should not do. So why do you come to me and preach to me on these things? I don't require your preaching. So in response to this question which was asked of him, he started explaining the situation of his own conversion and things. So I told him not to do that because he would get involved in this and there won't be a very clear-cut answer to him which can show him to be in a false position. So this can, such a questioner can be disposed of very quickly, very shortly, without giving an involved answer. And the best approach is, you should ask him a counter question. I said, all right, I'm sorry, but why don't you preach to me? You have taken exception to my preaching to you. I am taking exception to a different thing. I stand in need of your preaching and you don't preach to me. Why don't you preach to me? And tell him that now there are two attitudes now. Your attitude is somebody is preaching to you, you are against preaching. You take exception to that. My attitude is, why don't you preach to me? Come and preach to me and have a dialogue. So let us refer this matter to Ahmad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and find out what his conduct was. Do not tell me what was his conduct. So throw the burden of proof of the right attitude upon him and he will be cornered immediately, because Ahmad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's career in that regard is so clear, so obvious and evident that there is no confusion whatsoever about it. It was always he who preached, and it was always the adversary who took objection, who took exception to his preaching to them. So he would immediately stand where understand where he stands. So just a simple counter question, if not a lengthy discussion following, would be quite enough. All right, sir, I cease to preach to you, but then I am standing in need of your preaching. Your question shows that you are in the right and perhaps I am in the wrong. So it's your duty now to correct me.
Thank you.
Please. Yes?
Assalamualaikum. One day, just a few days ago, I was listening one of your Majlis Irfan tape, which was held in Lahore amongst the ladies.
Come a bit closer because this is being recorded. I don't want it to be recorded feebly. Yes?
That Majlis was held for the ladies in Lahore.
Yes, I know that, yes.
And one of the questions was about dam.
Yes.
I don't know how to put it in English.
Correct.
And Hazur,
And I mentioned the dam of snake.
your own experience.
Exactly, yes, that's
that
right.
the snake was made
Yes,
available.
that's right, yes.
You did not get frightened.
Yes.
I wonder if you could speak a bit in details, please. On that subject. Could you please kindly speak on that subject in bit details? Because that was short answer.
What is there which requires further explanation? If you pinpoint that, I'll speak only on that much. Because I took some time describing all this phenomena, and I proved it from traditions that this dam, that is, reciting of certain verses of the Holy Quran by way of prayers, and breathing on water or something which you want to give a patient immediately after that, by way of blessing, and then to expect some relief of the patient from the ill that he or she is suffering. That is, in nutshell, the philosophy of dam. That I explained and proved my point from the traditions of Ahmad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that once certain companions of his were out on a journey where they were left without food or water, and the tribes which occupied that region were hostile tribes, they attempted to get some